Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and I am so excited to have you joining me today for part 2 of my summer decorate with me. If you are into some sweet Americana decor in a farmhouse, you are in the right spot. So grab a snack and maybe a drink and we're going to get right into it. Today we're going to be decorating with a mix of items I've recently purchased from Michael's and from Big Lots, as well as some items that I have already had from Hobby Lobby and some other places, TJ Maxx, things like that. And this is what I'm going to be working with today. If you're interested in learning more about the items I'm decorating with for the summer, I've got a haul for you that you can check out. I'll have it linked for you down below. But we're going to get started today in my entryway, and I have this really great entryway table that I purchased at Salvation Army, and I did sand it down, and it's just this really nice raw wood table. And I keep a tiered tray on this table most of the time. So right now I have this really great galvanized tray that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. It's pretty big and it was a little bit more on the pricey side, so I definitely waited until it was 50% off. I will say they do still have this tray. I see it there all the time. And right now it was just decorated neutrally for kind of the in-between season. I did have some really great spring decor on there, but then I took that down and just kind of left it neutral until I came in with the Americana decor. So that's what I'm going to be decorating this tiered tray with, and I decided for this video that I'm not going to speed things up. I didn't play around beforehand before I turned on the camera. I just went for it. I think that's one of my favorite parts about decorating, is just being creative. My decorating style is kind of a more is more style. I like things to feel very cozy and warm and inviting, and I definitely love the farmhouse vibe, and definitely usually keep things pretty neutral so that when a holiday comes around I can just bring in pops of color like this and it blends with everything. I will say back in Las Vegas my house had a very cool tone to it. So our floors are pretty gray, our walls were a grayish color, and it was neutral, but it was very, very cool. And in this house, when we were building this house, I definitely wanted a warmer vibe. So we went with a really pretty warmer floor and a warmer color on the walls. The color is pale oak. I do get asked that pretty regularly. The color is pale oak by Benjamin Moore. And I will say it's technically in the white family, so it's like a little bit of an off-white, but I love it. I think it just brings a little, warmth to the walls. You could definitely leave them white. That's perfectly fine. And there are warm whites that you can use, but we love the pale oak. So I am just using some things that I already had, like that little creamer pitcher in the back with the florals in it. That's from IKEA. That little stand that you can clip, a picture to, I think is from Home Goods. That little tricycle I've had forever and a day, probably for the last 15 years. I don't even remember where I got it. And then the Home Sweet Home sign is from Michael's. And the rest of the items are a mixture of things that I already had and things that I purchased. Like I said, I did do a haul where I go over every little thing, so you can definitely check that out. Do you guys decorate with a tiered tray? It is definitely something I think brings such a sweet and warm decor element to any space. I know it's definitely not very modern, and for those who have moved away from the farmhouse vibe, it's probably not something that you're using anymore, but I still love, that very homey farmhouse look. I think my house is pretty farmhouse, but you know, for the most part, I just, like I said, try to keep it neutral. But having a tiered tray is just this extra space to add, you know, fun decor pieces. I love to layer. And I did mention in a previous video, I think it was my last summer Decorate With Me, that I love a more is more vibe. And you guys agreed that you are in the same boat, most of you anyway, that you guys like a more is more, which makes sense to me, because if you're checking out my video, that probably means you like that same vibe. And I just feel like a tiered tray is perfect for people who like to decorate like that. Just gives them, you know, that, I like that really full look. That faux plant that I'm adding to the tray here, that's from Target, from the dollar section a few years ago. It's just a faux pearl or string of pearls, and then it's just in a little terracotta planter. And I'm just going to kind of play around with things for a little bit until I get them just right. Like I said, I did not want to fast forward this section because I wanted you to see the thought process. Playing with a tiered tray can take a little while, and that's okay. You can try things, take them off, add them, you know, go back and forth, but I really don't think there's any right or wrong way to do a tiered tray. You can keep them very simple, or you can fill them to the brim like I am. It's really whatever vibe you're going for. So we're gonna get this tray finished up here in just a second, and you'll have to tell me down below how you think it turned out. Here's the final look for the tiered tray. I love how this turned out so much. There is something so very sweet about all of the Americana decor in this galvanized tray. This might be my favorite tiered tray that I've done so far. You guys are gonna have to tell me what you think of it, but I just think it's so warm and inviting. And this being the first space that you see in my home just feels so very perfect. Now it's time to work on the rest of the table. The items that I'm removing right now are from Walmart, Michael's, and Hobby Lobby. Those are the places I always shop. And I'm bringing in this wooden flag here from Big Lots. And it's pretty big, as you can see. So I was trying to figure out how this was gonna work. I love this bouquet of the ornamental onion blossoms. They're not real, it is a faux bouquet. Anytime I have a flower, I typically buy faux because they don't last. But I wanted to figure out how I could fit all of these items on here together. So I'm kind of playing around with them, but it felt very, very crowded. And so I just needed to rethink the space and what I was going to do with it. So I wasn't sure if everything was going to stay there, but I wanted the height of the ornamental onion blossoms. So I decided to take the lamp out of this space. Now, I won't say that I don't use the lamp. I definitely have used it, but I rarely use it. We've lived here since December, and I would say I've probably turned it on maybe 7 or 8 times, but it's very, very rare. So I didn't feel like it was needed, especially right now with it being, you know, on the verge of summer. the door is open most of the time, and so as it is right now, so there's always some really great natural light in there. But that just kind of freed up some space, and I did end up moving that lamp into the laundry room, which it actually gets more use in there anyway, so we'll see that maybe where it lives permanently. That lamp is actually from Goodwill. I did paint it, and I used the baking soda strategy to make it kind of, you know, textured. So now I'm just playing around with items that I already had. That was a pothos plant from my laundry room. And then now I'm just going to add another little flag into this bouquet. It's the easiest way to pull in a little bit of Americana decor, and I just think it looks very, very sweet and simple. Moving on to this little space next to my front door, this is where we hang our keys, and I had this sweet little basket, this hanging basket that I purchased at an antique store here in New England, and I had purchased these faux plants, or these faux flowers from Michael's. I showed these in my Summer Decorate With Me Part 1, and they're just sweet little, you know, wildflowers, like a little daisy, if you will. And so I wanted to add these in here. I was kind of thinking, why didn't I do this for spring? It just looks really pretty. I did have something else hanging here, but I love the way a basket with some flowers look. So I'm just going to play around with these until I get them just right, and then we're going to toss in another little flag, and this area will be done. Next up, we're going to work on the front door. So I have that beautiful eucalyptus wreath. I purchased that from Amazon. I still love that wreath. I would check it out if you're in need of an affordable wreath. I'll have it in my Amazon storefront. But now I'm pulling in this summer wreath here. It says Land of the Free because of the Brave. I think I got this at Michael's a few years ago, possibly Hobby Lobby, but I love it. It's so pretty, and it just looks so festive on the front door. And then now we're moving on to this little section here by the front door where I have the board and batten. I'm just adding this sweet little flag to this eucalyptus plant in the pitcher. And that is going to complete this Summer Decorate With Me here in my entryway. This is Summer Decorate With Me number 2. Make sure you check out number 1. And I am so excited for you guys to see the next one. So I would love for you to consider giving this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing and coming back for more. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And I will see you guys in the next one. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. And I will see you soon. Take care.